Hey all, welcome to Homeschool and we are with class 11 physics series. I also started class 11 chemistry series. In chemistry, second chapter is going on, that is structure of atom. And coming to the physics, I initially started with units and measurements. Already two videos are over where I covered everything about units, dimensions and most important topic, dimensional analysis. So you must definitely watch the video. Definitely you will get 100% benefit out of it. And do watch the video. Video link is provided in the description. And coming to this particular part, today I am completely with errors. Okay. See, that means I am dealing with all types of errors. And this is also one of the important topic for competitive point of view. Questions can be asked on errors. Say they will ask you very simple calculations and I'm going to solve those numericals with lots of tricks. So definitely watch the video till the end. You will enjoy with lots of tricks in calculation. Okay, not only in the physics, not only in this topic, you can use the tricks that I'm going to tell in all the subjects. I mean in the chemistry or in the mathematics or anywhere, okay, when you have certain equations. So do watch the video till the end. So coming to today's topic, as I told you, it is all about errors. So before we go for the different types of errors, let me discuss two important words whose meaning is important to understand. See here, from students' point of view, when we look at NCERT textbook, you feel the things are getting messed up and you feel that as though you're not understanding anything. But definitely from our home school, we are giving you that concept clarity. So once you listen to our videos, especially on a physics, you definitely get that essence of a topic. Okay, so I'm here to tell you the actual meanings and the actual way that you have to study for competitive exams, especially physics. So do follow my videos and do share the videos with all your friends. Let everybody get 100% benefit, right? Okay, so the two important words whose meanings are important, okay, they are accuracy and precision. Okay, so what do you mean by accuracy? Accuracy is how close your measured value with a real value. Okay, say for example, you are measuring certain property. Okay, say we are measuring length of some rod. We are measuring length of some rod. The actual length of this rod is around 10 centimeter. Say this is 10 centimeter. But when you measure this, okay, with certain instruments like vernier, caliper, and there are so many instruments that you can measure length, right? Even with a tape, you can measure a length. Fine. So when you measure this, in case if you are getting exactly 10 centimeter, okay, then I can say the value is accurate because the measured value is exactly similar to the true value. What is the true value? What is the theoretical value? 10 centimeter. Okay, when you measure it, your experimental measurement is also 10 centimeter. So then in that case, I say the value is accurate. Okay, so what do you mean by accuracy? It is nothing but how close is the measured value, with real value, with real or true value. Okay, so this is what we mean by accuracy. Okay, so now let me talk about precision. Fine, so actual value, true value of length of this rod is 10 centimeter. So when you are measuring, say you are getting a value 9.9, okay, 9.8, say 3 trials you have done, 3 times you measured. Okay, so in a first attempt, you got 9.9 centimeter as your answer. In the second attempt, you got 9.8 centimeter as your answer. In the third attempt, you got 9 centimeter as your answer. See here, none of the values are matching with your true value. That means none of the values are accurate. Yes or no? So they are not accurate values because they are not exactly matching with your true value. But you see these two values. I can say 9.9, 9.8. Okay, I can consider these two values. I can take average of these two values. Okay, and I can produce as the answer. Right. Say, and these two values, if you see, they are very much close. Why am I not considering 9.0? Because 9.0 is somewhere very far compared to 9.8. Right? Huge difference is there between these values and this particular value. So I am neglecting this value. I will consider these two values which are very close with each other. I can call these values as precise values. I call these values as precise values. So what do you mean by precision here? Closeness. This is closeness between the measured values. Closeness between the measured values is called precision. Okay, so lots of precision is there between these two values, but they are not accurate. It's not necessary that they have to be accurate. Okay, they can be accurate, sometimes they may not be accurate, but definitely they are precise. Okay, so if I have to give the actual value here after doing 3 attempts, I can select these two values and I can give average of this value, right? So that is what we mean by precision. So these are the actual meanings behind accuracy and precision. And now let us go for error. So what do you mean by error? You see here. See, I am not getting exact value 9.9. That means there is an error, right? So here there is an error of around 0.1, right? Here there is an error around 0.2. So this thing, whenever you measure certain physical quantity with some instruments, you will end up with errors. Okay, say every time you will not get accurate value. There is definitely uncertainty in the answer, error in the answer, right? So it is very important to deal with such errors. So now we are going to study detailed things about different types of errors. So first, let me give you definition for error. It's nothing but uncertainty. Uncertainty in measurement. Okay, so this is what we mean by error. And there are mainly 2 types of errors. Errors can be classified into 2 types. One is systematic error. Systematic errors. And the other type is random errors. Random errors. Okay. And now systematic errors are again of 3 types. So what are the 3 types of systematic errors? One is instrumental errors. Instrumental errors. Say the errors that is caused due to instrument. If there is something wrong in adjusting the instrument, then you will end up with instrumental errors. So many a times when you use sophisticated instruments, the errors are due to instruments. Okay, so such errors are called instrumental errors. And coming to the next error, it is imperfection. Imperfection in procedure. See guys, when you measure something, you have to follow some procedure. If you follow a wrong procedure or any step if you miss, okay, then you will end up with, some sort of errors. So that is what we mean by imperfection in procedure. And third one is personal error. It is personal error. It can be anything. It may be your negligence, okay, or it may be your laziness or whatever it is. So the errors, many a times errors are also due to personal problems, okay. So they are personal errors. Fine. And coming to random errors. Under random error, we have an error called least count error. Least count error. Okay, say for example, this least count error is also regarding the instrument only. It is all related to resolution of instrument. Fine. So they are all very much common errors, nothing much to discuss about this. So this is not important to discuss. What is important is these types of errors. There are 3 more errors which are very, very important. Okay. So they are absolute errors, relative errors, and percentage errors. Okay, so this is our topic, percentage errors. So about them we have to discuss in detail, and you should also get perfect with calculations involving these errors. So this is our today's actual topic. So let's go to the topic quickly. Let's understand what do you mean by these errors. See guys, listen here, this is really very important. I'll make you understand all the 3 types of error with one particular example. Say instead of by-hearting their definition, it is really very important to understand their real meaning. Okay, then you will understand the beauty of the topic actually. Fine. See, you have a rod of this much. Okay, say for example, its length is around 20 centimeter. When you measure for the first attempt, okay, so in the first attempt, say you got the value around 19.5 centimeter. In the second attempt, you got the value around 20.5 centimeter, right? Say I can say the length of this rod on measuring, you can get around 20 plus or minus 0.5 centimeter, right? See, exactly 20 you may not get. There is some error. So how much is the error? It is 0.5. So what is the difference between 19.5 and 20? It's 0.5. Okay, what is the difference between 20.5 and 20? It is 0.5. Okay, so you may get the value 0.5 amount higher, or you may get the value lesser by 0.5. Okay, so that is the reason sometimes say if I have to give its value, length value, I would say 20 plus or minus 0.5 centimeter. Okay, so this plus or minus 0.5 centimeter is there, no? This is what we will call it as absolute error. So this is our absolute error. Okay, so it is the error, actual error that you are getting during measurement is called absolute error. Okay, so what is this? This is actual error during measurement. During measurement is called absolute error, right? Fine. And now let us talk about the relative error. Relative error is nothing but, say I'm talking about the relative error. Let me write relative error as RA. Okay. It is the error relative to actual value, relative to measured value, actual value or measured value. Maybe you get confused, right, looking at the sentence, but see here. L is equal to 20 plus or minus 0.5 centimeter is the value you got, right? Here, what did I tell you? Plus or minus 0.5 is the error, and it's a type of absolute error. And now, if I do 0.5 divided by 20, 0.025, isn't it? And this is what we mean by relative error. Relative error. Okay, say the error relative to the measured value is called relative error. Okay, so how will you calculate relative error? It is absolute error divided by measured value. Okay, so how will you calculate relative error here? Relative error. right? It is absolute error divided by measured value. Measured value is this 20. Okay, fine. Or true value, whatever. Okay, so that is all about relative error. Now coming to percentage error. Now I'm going for percentage error, PE. Percentage of relative error is called percentage error. It's very simple. Percentage of relative error is called percentage error. That means what is relative error here? 0.025, right? Percentage is multiply with 100. When you want its percentage, multiply with 100. So what do you get? You will get 2.5%. So this is what we mean by percentage error. So here how much is the error in percentage? It is 2.5%. So when you get absolute error as 0.5, then if you convert that into percentage, it is 2.5%. All errors will talk the same thing, okay, but in different form. They are talking the same error in different form. This is the actual error you got during measurement. Okay, say the same error you can write in this form also. Okay, what is that? Relative error. So how do you calculate relative error? It is absolute error divided by this value, true value. Okay, and if you take the percentage of this error, then we will call it as percentage error. So all three are actually talking the same thing. They are talking about this error but in different form. Okay, so this is really very, very important to understand. Okay, so now let us go for one more example where we will try to identify what is absolute error, relative error and percentage error. After that we will go for calculations involving errors. Okay, so one more example for you. This is example 2. Suppose I have a ball here. Okay, I wanted to measure the mass of that ball. Imagine I got the answer as 50 plus or minus. It's actually 50 grams, but there is an error. Error is of this much. It is plus or minus 0.1 gram. This is what the mass of a ball when I measure. So I have an error of around 0.1. Okay, very small error, isn't it? Fine. And now, can you tell me what do I call this error as? So this is the actual error I got during the measurement. It can be, you can add plus 0.1 to this, or you can subtract 0.1 from this. So that's what the actual mass actually. Right? Fine. So this error, we will call it as absolute error. Right? And now can you calculate relative error here? How do you calculate relative error? You just have to do 0.1 divided by 50. Okay? And can you calculate percentage error here? So what is the percentage error? Percentage error is 0.1 divided by 50. You have calculated here, multiply with 100. So this is how you will calculate relative error and percentage error. So it's very, very important. Converting absolute error into relative error and converting later into percentage error is very, very important. Why? Because most of the questions they ask to calculate percentage error, where sometimes you need to convert absolute error into relative. Relative error once you got, just multiply 100 to the relative error, you will get your answer in percentage error. Okay, so now that you understood what are these error and how to identify absolute, relative and percentage error, especially the calculation of relative and percentage error. Okay, and now let us talk about the combination of these errors. Say when you have to add the two quantities along with error, or you have to subtract the two quantities along with the errors, then how would you do? Or when you have to multiply or divide such numbers, how will you do? So I will explain all this with beautiful shortcuts and tricks. Okay, so do watch the session till the end. See guys, First important point that you have to remember is whenever, note it down, this is very important, whenever you add or subtract two quantities, two physical quantities, okay, absolute errors gets add up. Absolute errors gets add up. Okay, only absolute errors gets add up. If you have a relative error or percentage error, they will not get add up when you are adding or subtracting two physical quantities. For example, let me take some mass A is equal to 2 plus or minus 0.3 centimeter. Okay, so this is absolute error. Looking at this only we can understand this is absolute error. Okay, and now B is equal to, I will get the answer 3 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter. Okay, now I have to calculate something called V, and there is a formula for V, that is A plus B. Okay, let me take some alphabet C. Okay, I want to calculate C. Calculate. My question is calculate C. Okay, so how do you calculate C? On adding A plus B. On adding A plus B. So what is A value here? A value is 2 plus or minus 0.3 centimeter, plus what is the value of B? 3 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter. Isn't it? See, I have to add 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is how much? It is 5. So 5 plus or minus, add absolute errors. Just add this with this. You will get 0.5 centimeter as the value for C. This is your answer. It's very simple. Right? So this is how you are adding this value with this value. Then in that case your absolute errors always gets add up. Okay, you are adding physical quantity, along with that absolute errors always gets add up. Okay, fine. And now one more example. Okay, say the same example, if I have to do minus A minus B. Okay, say now my formula C is equal to A minus B. Then what am I doing? A, what is A? It is 2 plus or minus 0.3 centimeter minus, then what is that? 3, okay, plus or minus 0.3 centimeter. Right? And now what is my value? 2 minus 3, it is minus 1. Right? So in this case, you're not subtracting 0.3 minus 0.2. You just have to add them. Absolute errors always gets added up when you are adding two quantities and subtracting two quantities. Clear? You are actually subtracting A minus B. A is this much, B is this much. Okay, so you will do 2 minus 3, that is minus 1. But what about the errors? Errors you have to add. Okay, you should always add the errors. Why? Because you should show the maximum possible error. To the worst case, you have to show the error. Worst case, when do you get? When you add only, right? So worst case of error is when you add this. Maximum error you have to show in the answer. So maximum error you will get only when you add them. So here what is the error? 0.5 centimeter. So even during subtraction, you have added the absolute errors. So this is one important point that you have to remember. Okay, so one more example, let me take example 2. Okay, so you have some rectangle, right? You have some rectangle, and here let this length, okay, let me call it as this as A, okay, or just like that. So this length is around 10 centimeter plus or minus 0.1. Okay, 10 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Okay, so this is our length. Fine. And coming to this is our breadth of a rectangle. So let the value be around 4 plus or minus 0.5 centimeter. Okay. Fine. And calculate perimeter. I'll ask you to calculate perimeter, right? So perimeter in the sense what? The entire thing. This much length. The entire thing. This is what perimeter. So how do you calculate perimeter here? Perimeter is equal to 2 into B, right? 2 into breadth plus 2 into L, right? 2 times this length is equal to this length, right? So 2 into L you will take. This is equal to this, so 2 into B you will take, right? Fine. So here, what is the value of breadth here? What is the value of breadth that you measured? That is 4 plus or minus 0.5 centimeter, right? Plus 2 into what is the length that you measured? It is 10 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Okay, so what do you get? 2 4s are 8 plus or minus 2 into 0.5. 2 into 0.5 is 1.0, right? Fine. Plus 2 tens are 20 plus or minus 2 into 0.1, it is 0.2, isn't it? So what will you do now? You are just adding this with this. So 8 plus 20 is 28, and now absolute errors you are adding up, right? So 28 plus or minus 1.0, 0.2, it is 1.2 centimeter. So perimeter is equal to this much centimeter, right? So this is how addition or subtraction can be done with errors. Okay, so even when you are subtracting, your absolute errors always gets added up during calculation. It's very important. Okay, and now if it is a percentage error or relative error, they will not get added up. Okay, so they are not supposed to be added up. In case here, if they mention percentage error, they'll mention it as 2%, or here they'll mention it as 1%. Okay, then here you will have 2% and here you will have 1%. You can't add 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. You can't write it as 3%. This is wrong. Okay, you can't add percentage errors. Percentage errors cannot be added. So what you should do? Convert the percentage error into absolute error. Okay, convert the percentage error into absolute error and then you can add. Clear? So all that we will discuss during problems also, don't worry. So keep this in mind, absolute errors only can be added. Okay, percentage errors can be multiplied or divided. If you are dividing two physical quantities or multiplying two physical quantities, then the error must be there in percentage error and those percentage errors must be added. Okay, so now let us go for that particular concept also. See what I wrote on a board, guys. This is another important point. During multiplication or division, absolute errors do not add up. Instead, percentage errors gets add up. Okay, so one small example for you. Say A is equal to, you had got 2 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter. Okay, and B is equal to 3 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Okay, where I told you all to do A by B. Okay, so I said you to do A by B. Say here, how will you do A by B? 2 plus or minus 0.2 centimeter divided by 3 plus or minus 0.1 centimeter. Right? What about these errors? Will you add up the error or will you subtract the error? What? Say, what is this error? This is absolute error, isn't it? Say, absolute errors you cannot use, for multiplication as well as division. This absolute errors must be converted into what? They must be converted into percentage errors. Okay, so what you have to do? First convert absolute errors into percentage error, then you can multiply or divide. There I will tell you one beautiful shortcut, multiplication and division time. Okay, fine. First, let me convert this absolute error into percentage error. So how will you convert, guys? A is equal to 2 plus or minus 0.2 divided by 2, isn't it? Say into 100. I'm converting into percentage error. So what do you get? So if you do 0.2 divided by 2 into 100, say 20 by 2, if you take out this point, yes, 20 by 2, that is 10, isn't it? So you will have 10% error. Error is actually very huge. Likewise, convert B value also. What is B value? 3 plus or minus, this is absolute error, convert that into percentage error. How do you convert that? First relative error, this divided by this into 100. So 0.1 divided by 3 into 100. So you will be getting around, your B is equal to 3 plus or minus 3.3%. Okay, so this is how the first step has to be followed. So if you have something in absolute error, when you are multiplying or dividing, you must definitely convert this absolute error into percentage error. So this is the value of A in percentage error terms. This is the value of B in percentage error terms. Okay, so now here, in case if you have to multiplication, you are doing multiplication, you get a chance of doing, say I told you to multiply A multiplied with B. So what do you do? What is your A value? It is 2 plus or minus 10%. Okay, multiplied with 3 plus or minus 3.3%, right? So now multiplying, here I am telling you one shortcut formula for the calculation. Okay, so try to listen, that's very interesting. So shortcut formula for calculation. See, when you have something like this, 1 plus x into 1 plus y, okay, then you can write it as 1 plus x plus y. Okay, so this is what our formula, right? This you can do when x is very, very smaller than 1 and y is very, very smaller than 1. If it is a bigger value than 1, you can't apply this. X must be very small than 1. Okay, and y must be very small than 1. Then only you can use this shortcut. 1 plus x into 1 plus y is equal to 1 plus x plus y. You can do it off. Okay, say here, you see here, if you have to multiply this, it's a big mess. First you will do 2 into 3, then 2 into this value, then 10 into this, again 10 into this. You know, it takes lot of time. See how I will apply this particular trick here. Okay, say I want the equation in the format 1 plus something. Okay, I don't want 2 plus. It can be applicable only if you have 1 plus x, 1 plus y format. Okay, say what I do, I'll take this 2 outside. Okay, I'll just take this 2 outside. This one I can write it as 1 plus or minus 10%. Right? I can write it as 1 plus or minus 10%. Okay, and now this one I'll write it as 3 into 1 plus or minus 3.3%. Okay, and now 2 3s are 2 into 3, that is 6. 6 into 1 plus or minus 10%. Okay, then 1 plus or minus 3.3%. So this is how I can write it. So now this matches with this formula. See, 1 plus x, 1 plus y. 1 plus or minus this, 1 plus or minus 3.3%. And you know what? What did I tell you? This one must be much smaller than 1. 10%, that means 10 divided by 100. You will get some decimal point only, no? This one definitely is smaller than 1. So we can use this formula. So what is my answer here? 6, 1. Okay, what is my answer? 1 plus x plus y. X plus y. I can just add it up. 1 plus or minus 10% plus 10% plus 3.3%. How much? 13.3%. So what is your answer, guys? It is 6 plus or minus 13.3% is your answer. Okay, see how easily we have done multiplication of percentage errors using a trick. See guys, when you are dividing it, how will you do? So dividing, I am dividing the same numbers. Okay, so A by B I will do. So what is the A value? 2 plus or minus 10%. Okay, divided by 3 plus or minus 3.3%. Okay, say let me write this way. 2, okay, 1 plus or minus 10% divided by 3 into 1 plus or minus 3.3%. So when you have written in this format, just 2 divided by 3 is how much? 0.6, isn't it? So 0.6, add these two. Add this with this. This is what the shortcut. Add this with this. Okay, so plus or minus 10%. 10% plus 3.3%. Okay, how much? It will be 13.3%. So this is how you can do while dividing. So even when it is there in a divided form, these errors, percentage errors, you are adding it up. Okay, so this is how you will divide and this is how you will multiply. Okay, so during multiplication and division, your percentage errors are getting added up. Say for the multiplication, this is the best shortcut you can write. So first you convert these things into this format. Okay, and then you can just apply the formula, add the errors and show it. Okay, and this is how you can do for division. So these are some tricks that you can follow during calculation. And now we will go for actual questions that how they ask. I'm actually giving you the previous NEET question paper questions. Let's see. Look at these questions, guys. Both are previous year NEET paper questions. A certain body weighs 22.42 gram and has a measured volume 4.7 cc. Okay, so they have given some mass which is equal to 22.42. Okay, and they have given some volume which is equal to 4.7. The possible error in the measurement of mass and volume are 0.01 and 0.1 cc. Say error in the measurement of mass and volume. Error in the measurement of mass is this much. So what will I write? Plus or minus 0.01. So this is mass and error in the measurement of volume is 0.1, that is plus or minus 0.1 cc. So this is volume along with the error, right? What they are asking, the maximum error in density is, you should calculate density and you should mention the error, percentage error in density. They are actually asking you the percentage error. Okay. So what is density? D is equal to mass by volume. Okay. Say here what is mass? This is mass. This is volume. And you see the errors. They are absolute errors. Absolute errors cannot be divided. They are not to be multiplied, right? So what you need to do? You are dividing both of them. So first you need to convert this into percentage error. Okay. So how will you convert this into percentage error? 0.01 divide relative error. How do you do relative error? 0.01 divided by this, right? Divided by 22.42 into 100. If you do, how much is the value you will get? You will actually get 0.04%. So this is the percentage error for mass. Okay. So let me write it here. So what is the mass? 22.42 plus or minus percentage error I need to consider. So I calculated percentage error, that is 0.04% divided by volume. So you are not supposed to take 0.1 as error. Convert this into percentage error. How do you do that? 0.1 divided by 4.7 into 100. So you will be getting 2.12%. Okay. So what is the volume I will consider here? 4.7, okay, plus or minus 2.12%. Okay. So now just what you have to do. So this I will write it in the form 22.42 into 1 plus or minus 0.04% divided by 4.7 into 1 plus or minus 2.12%. Don't forget to mention percentage. It means that you are considering percentage error. Now you just have to add these two, right? So this divided by this you do, right? So what is density? 22.42 divided by 4.7. Okay, so this one you have to do. Plus or minus, just add these two. 2.12 plus 0.04 is how much? It will be 2.16, right? So this is your percentage error. So they are asking, one of the option given was 2.16. So it's not that you have to calculate this. If it is a board examination question, you need to calculate. For the competitive point, they will mention this as one of the option. Okay, so actually your options were A is equal to 1.16%, B is equal to 2.16%, C is equal to 2.0%, and D is equal to 1.9%. So can you tell me which is the correct option? Definitely option B. Okay, so just this is how we will try to divide, isn't it? We are just adding the percentage error. You are not supposed to take absolute error for the calculation. Absolute errors cannot be added. That's why we have converted absolute error into percentage error. Okay, so they have asked the answer in percentage error itself. Okay, so this is one of the important problem that you have to concentrate. And now next you see this. Percentage error in measurement of mass and speed are 2%, 3% respectively. Find percentage error in calculating kinetic energy. Okay, so can you give a formula for kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Isn't it? So now no need to, we are not calculating kinetic energy. We are actually calculating percentage error of kinetic energy. Okay, so what will you do? Don't forget about half here. Okay, so what is the error? Error in mass. Error in mass. Can I write it as 1 plus or minus 2%? Yes, 2% is error. So I'm taking it, some value would have been there, mass, some value would have been there, but they didn't give anything, right? If any value was there, we can write it, we'll take it outside and we'll write it as 1 plus or minus 2%, right? So that's why directly I considered m is equal to 1 plus or minus 2%. And error in velocity or speed is 1 plus or minus 3%. Okay, so what will I do here? So half you forget. So m, what is m here? 1 plus or minus 2%. Okay, and then what is volumes percentage error? 1 plus or minus 3%. Okay, whole square. Right? So 1 whole square means what? 1 plus or minus 3% into 1 plus or minus 3%, isn't it? That's what we mean by whole square. So again it is in the form of 1 plus x, 1 plus y, right? Which we can write it as 1 plus x plus y, right? This is the formula I told you. 1 plus x, 1 plus y is equal to 1 plus x plus y. So you can write this as 1 plus or minus 1 plus or minus, okay, 3 plus 3 is what? 6. isn't it? Say directly I'll write it as 1 plus or minus 2%, and here 1 plus or minus square means what? It is 6%, right? So here again, this is again in the formula 1 plus x into 1 plus y. So it is 1 plus x plus y, right? So that helps you a lot here. So what is the answer here? 1 plus or minus 2 plus 6. It is just 8%. So this is your answer. Okay. So what is the error in kinetic energy? Error in kinetic energy is 8%. Okay. So this is how you can do a problem. Guys, one more interesting question, and here one more small trick I'll tell you in calculation that you can use it anywhere. Okay, you see here the physical quantity x is given by x is equal to 2k cube L square by m into square root of n, some formula, don't worry about that. Okay, the percentage error in the measurement of K, L, M, N are 1%, 2%, 3% and 4% respectively. What is percentage error in calculating x? Okay, say what they have given, first you write that. So percentage error of K they have given. How much? It is 1%. That means you can write it as 1 plus or minus 1%. Right? Say some value would be there, K, they didn't give you any value, some value would be there, we will write it as what? That value outside, let me put that value as K naught. Okay, so K naught plus or minus 1%. So K naught, if I take it outside, I can write it as 1 plus or minus 1%, right? So that's why. So percentage error of K is 1 plus or minus 1%. Write it this way. Okay, and percentage error of L is equal to 2%, right? I can write it as 1 plus or minus 2%. Percentage error of M is equal to, write it as 1 plus or minus 3%. Percentage error of nu or n, whatever it is equal to 1 plus or minus 4%, right? Fine. So now you substitute these things as according to the formula. So what's your formula? X is equal to, okay, so x is equal to 2, you leave it. Okay, so 2 you leave it. So that's the calculation part you can leave. We are just concentrating on error K cube. So what is the error of K cube? It is 1 plus or minus 1% whole cube, right? So what is the value of L? 1 plus or minus 2% L square, so whole square, divided by M. What is the error of M? It is 1 plus or minus 3%. Okay, and then what is this? Yes, it is square root of, right? So square root of 1 plus or minus 4%. Okay, and you see here I have one beautiful trick to solve this square root. Okay, first let me finish this numerator part. Okay, say 1 plus or minus 1% whole cube means what? 1 plus or minus 1% into 1 plus or minus 1% into 1 plus or minus 1%, right? So you just go on add this with this with this. So you will get 1 plus or minus 3%, isn't it? So 1 plus or minus 3% cubing. Okay, I am removing, and then here 1 plus or minus 2% whole square, that will be 1 plus or minus 4%. So numerator I simplified. Now coming to the denominator, what you have, this it's in a simple way. So 1 plus or minus 3%, and now this square root. See, this square root I can write it as 1 plus or minus 4% to the power half. Square root can always be written to the power half, right? So here I have again one shortcut formula that you can use for square roots. Okay, say whenever you have 1 plus x whole to the power n. Okay, say where x is very small than 1. Okay, then only you can use this formula. Formula is 1 plus nx you can do. Okay, 1 plus nx you can do. See, one small example I'll tell you how to use this formula. Say for example, I have something like this, 1 plus 0.1 to the power half I have. Okay, so what I can do here, I can write in this format, that is 1 plus n. N is what? Half. Okay, so half into x. X is what? Your 0.1. Right, like this. So your answer will be 1 plus 0.1 by 2. Okay, so how much is 0.1 by 2? 0.05. So 1 plus 0.05. So your answer would be 1.05 is the answer. So 1 plus 0.1 to the power half, answer is 1.05. So this is how your calculation will become much easier when you have powers. Okay, and if something is there in this format, 1 plus x whole to the power of n is equal to 1 plus nx. This is a formula, you can use it off. Okay, so when x is very, very small. Say now apply that here. 4% means what? 4 divided by 100. You will get some small number only. So your x value is much smaller than 1. So what we can write here? So how do you do using this formula? Say I can just do it as 1, right? 1 plus nx. This is what the formula, right? So 1 plus what is n? Half. Okay, into what is x? It is 4%. Right? So 4%. So what do you get? 1 plus 1 za 2 za. Right? So you will get around 2%. So you get 1 plus 2% here if you do this much. Right? So I'll substitute that. So can I finish off the calculation in the numerator? Right? I can just add. Right? So in the numerator you have 1 plus or minus 3% plus 4%. It is 7%. So now in the denominator what I have? 1 plus or minus 3% into, what is that? 1 plus or minus 2%. Right? So you just have to do what? 1 plus or minus 7% in the numerator, denominator 1 plus or minus, just add, percentage errors can be added, 5%. Right? So here 1 plus or minus, what will you do? Percentage errors, you just add, even if it is there in a division way, you just have to add the percentage errors. So 7 plus 5, you will get around 12%. Right? So 12% is your answer. So this is your answer. They are asking percentage in calculation of x. Okay, so it is your 12%. So this is how the problems can be asked. This is one of the problem from your very recent previous medical examination paper. Okay, so that's all about the calculation of errors or the combination of errors. See, the more problems you solve, more perfection you will get. So I think the tricks will help you. So 2 tricks I gave you. Say they will save you during calculations. Definitely you can finish your calculation within few seconds itself. So I'll just revise the tricks once again. What is that? 1 plus x into 1 plus y is, you can write it as 1 plus x plus y. So just every error, just write it in this format so that your calculation becomes easy. And another one is 1 plus x whole to the power of n is equal to 1 plus nx, you can write. Okay, so providing this x is very, very smaller than 1. Okay, so this n value can be anything. It can be 1 by 2 or it can be 1 by 3 also. If it is a cubed root, you will write to the power 1 by 3. Then also you can use this formula. Okay, so definitely these formulas will save you during calculation. So do practice various problems, and in my Telegram group also I will share few questions so that you can practice them. Thank you so much. Actually, major topics of the chapter is completed. Most important topic is dimensional analysis and the combination of errors. This kind of calculations relating to errors. Okay. In my next video, I may come up with a new chapter, that is motion in straight line. Okay. So till then, revise the concept, practice, practice, practice makes man perfect. More questions you have to practice. So take care. See you all in the next video. Thank you so much.